Have you ever noticed how success makes people act differently around you? They cheer for you when you're struggling, but the moment you rise, something changes. They downplay your achievements, throw subtle jabs, or act like your success is just luck. But what if I told you that their behavior isn't random? It's a sign of something deeper. It's like a volcano, silent for years, ignored, underestimated. But when it erupts, suddenly the same people who overlooked it can't stop watching, can't stop running. Or think of a diamond, just a dull rock at first, tossed aside, buried under pressure. But the moment it shines, everyone wants a piece of it. That's the power of undeniable success. Because while they downplay your success, deep down, they know it. You have two choices: dim your light to make them comfortable, or shine so bright they have no choice but to notice. And when you stop explaining yourself, that's when their envy becomes impossible to hide. So, how do you recognize those who secretly envy your success? Without confrontation, without assumptions, without a single word? Stay until the end, because the last one will change everything. Let's get started. Number 1. They minimize your achievements. Let's talk about a subtle but undeniable sign of hidden envy: when someone minimizes your success instead of celebrating it. You've worked hard, accomplished something meaningful, and naturally you want to share the moment with the people around you. But instead of excitement, you get a lukewarm response. Maybe they shrug it off, saying, "That's cool, I guess." Or they act unimpressed. "Oh, anyone could do that if they really tried." Maybe they even shift the conversation to themselves, making sure you don't get too much attention. Here's the truth. When someone downplays your success, it's not about you, it's about them. They can't celebrate your achievements because doing so would force them to confront their own insecurities. Your progress is a reminder of their stagnation. Your growth highlights the areas in their life where they've been making excuses. So instead of clapping for you, they pretend your success isn't a big deal. It's their way of protecting their ego, because acknowledging your win would mean admitting their own lack of effort. And this is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." True success isn't measured by what you have, it's measured by your mindset. A secure person doesn't feel threatened by someone else's achievements. They recognize that success isn't a limited resource, but someone who constantly craves more status, more validation, more recognition, will always feel lacking. And when they see you thriving, their first instinct isn't to be happy for you. It's to make themselves feel better by diminishing what you've done. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Alex, had a friend who always acted supportive until Alex started achieving real success. When Alex got promoted, his friend brushed it off with, "It's just luck, right place, right time." When Alex started getting in shape, his friend scoffed, "Let's see if you can keep it up." At first, Alex thought he was imagining it, but over time, it became clear. This friend couldn't be happy for him because deep down, he felt like Alex's success made him look worse. So how do you handle people who minimize your achievements? First, stop seeking validation from them. If someone can't genuinely celebrate your wins, they don't deserve front-row seats to your success. Second, recognize that their response is a reflection of their own struggles, not your worth. Their inability to be happy for you says more about them than it does about you. And finally, protect your energy. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, not those who subtly try to bring you down. At the end of the day, a confident person knows that celebrating others' success doesn't take anything away from them. But those who secretly envy you, they'll try to minimize your achievements because deep down they wish they were in your place. Don't let their insecurity dull your shine. Number 2, they give backhanded compliments. Let's talk about one of the sneakiest ways envy reveals itself: backhanded compliments. These aren't the kind of insults that are obvious. No, they're far more subtle, wrapped in a thin layer of fake praise. At first it sounds like they're complimenting you, but something feels off. Their words don't uplift you, they make you second-guess yourself. They say things like, "Wow, you actually did really well on this," or "I didn't expect you to pull this off, but good for you." It's as if they're impressed, but also surprised, like they didn't think you were capable of success in the first place. Here's the truth: they disguise their jealousy as praise, but their words always carry a subtle insult or doubt. It's not genuine encouragement. It's a way for them to keep you in check. They can't outright ignore your success, but they also can't fully acknowledge it without feeling inferior. So, they meet you in the middle, giving compliments laced with just enough negativity to plant seeds of doubt. Instead of making you feel proud, their words make you pause and think, "Wait, was that a compliment or a dig?" And that's exactly what they want, to keep you questioning yourself. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That means you don't need to stoop to their level. You don't need to fire back with sarcasm or try to prove yourself to them. The best way to handle someone who gives backhanded compliments: recognize it for what it is and rise above it. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Lisa, worked hard to improve herself. She started a fitness journey, got in the best shape of her life, and was finally feeling confident. But instead of real support, one of her friends started dropping backhanded compliments like, "Wow, I wish I had time to work out like you do," or "Must be nice to focus on yourself so much." At first, Lisa laughed it off, but after a while she realized this wasn't encouragement. It was jealousy disguised as praise. Instead of being happy for her, this friend wanted to make her feel guilty for prioritizing herself. So how do you handle backhanded compliments? First, don't take the bait. When someone gives you a disguised insult, don't waste energy defending yourself. Just smile and say, "Thanks." Second, don't let their words shake your confidence. Their jealousy has nothing to do with your worth. It's a reflection of their own insecurities. And finally, keep moving forward. The best response to envy isn't arguing. It's continuing to succeed without seeking their approval. At the end of the day, real supporters lift you up without hesitation. But those who secretly envy you, they'll hide their jealousy behind fake praise, hoping you won't notice. Don't let their words get to you. Keep winning and let your success speak for itself. Number 3, they copy you but never acknowledge it. Let's talk about one of the most frustrating signs of hidden envy: when someone imitates you but never gives you credit. You start noticing small things at first. Maybe they start dressing like you, using the same phrases you do, or suddenly taking an interest in the things you're passionate about. Then it escalates. They copy your ideas, your goals, even your work, but instead of acknowledging you as their inspiration, they act like they thought of it all on their own. Here's the truth: they imitate your actions, style, or ideas while pretending they came up with them first. This isn't admiration, it's disguised competition. They see your success, and instead of being inspired to find their own path, they take shortcuts by copying you. But because their ego won't allow them to admit that they're following your lead, they try to make it look like they were ahead of you the whole time. It's their way of keeping up without giving you the satisfaction of knowing you influenced them. And this is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Epictetus once said, "A wise man is content with his own lot, whatever it may be." A truly secure person doesn't feel the need to copy someone else. They focus on their own journey. They recognize that success isn't about imitating others, but about developing themselves. But someone who secretly envies you, they don't trust their own abilities enough to carve out their own path. Instead, they take pieces of yours, hoping no one will notice. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Daniel, started a business from scratch. He put in years of effort, learning, failing, and improving. But once his business gained traction, an old friend suddenly became interested in the same industry. At first, Daniel was happy to share advice, but then this friend started copying everything: his branding, his marketing strategies, even his unique selling points. And the worst part, when people pointed out the similarities, this friend would brush it off, saying, "Oh, I've always been interested in this. I just happened to start now." Instead of admitting he had been inspired by Daniel, he acted like it was all his idea. So how do you handle people who copy you but never acknowledge it? First, don't let it shake you. If someone is copying you, it means you're doing something worth imitating. Second, focus on staying ahead. The people who copy will always be a step behind because they're reacting to your moves instead of creating their own. And finally, don't waste time demanding recognition. The truth always reveals itself. People will notice who the original is, and those who copy without substance will eventually struggle to keep up. At the end of the day, true confidence comes from originality. If someone copies you but refuses to acknowledge it, take it as a sign that your influence is undeniable. Keep innovating, keep evolving, and let them chase while you continue leading. If you found this valuable, hit like and subscribe for more powerful insights. Number 4, they celebrate your failures more than your wins. Let's talk about one of the most revealing signs of hidden envy, when someone seems just a little too happy when things don't go your way. Maybe they don't openly cheer when you fail, but you notice the subtle signs. When you succeed, their excitement feels forced, their congratulations feel half-hearted. But the moment something goes wrong, their energy shifts. They suddenly have so much to say. They act concerned, but there's a slight smirk, a hint of satisfaction in their voice. Deep down, they're relieved, not because they want the best for you, but because your setback makes them feel better about themselves. Here's the truth. If someone secretly enjoys your failures, it's because they were never rooting for your success. They were watching, waiting, hoping for you to stumble, because as long as you were winning, they had to confront their own insecurities. But when you face challenges, suddenly they feel lighter, like they don't have to compete as hard. Instead of supporting you when you struggle, they see it as proof that you're not that special, that maybe you're not as far ahead as they thought. And that twisted sense of relief, it exposes everything. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." A person who finds joy in someone else's failure is living with a weak mindset. Their happiness isn't built on their own progress. It's built on comparisons. Instead of working on themselves, they feed off of other people's struggles, hoping it makes them feel superior. But true strength, true success, it comes from lifting others up, not secretly celebrating when they fall. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Rachel, had a co-worker who always seemed neutral about her achievements. Whenever Rachel accomplished something, her co-worker would give a quick nod, say something like, "Nice," and move on. But one day, when Rachel's big project got rejected, that same co-worker suddenly became very talkative. They sat next to her, patted her on the back and said, "Hey, it happens to everyone. Maybe this wasn't meant for you." It wasn't comfort, it was disguised satisfaction. That's when Rachel realized this person wasn't a supporter. They were an undercover rival, someone who felt more comfortable when she was struggling than when she was thriving. So, how do you handle people like this? First, don't let their energy affect you. Their reaction to your failures has nothing to do with your potential. Second, remember that your setbacks don't define you. How you respond to them does. And finally, take note of who claps when you win and who claps when you lose. The real ones will always cheer for your success, while the envious will only feel good when you fall. At the end of the day, true friends and supporters will stand by you in both wins and losses. But those who secretly envy you, they'll celebrate when you stumble because it makes them feel less inadequate. Let their reaction expose them and keep moving forward, because nothing frustrates them more than watching you rise again. Number 5. They talk about themselves when you succeed. Let's talk about a subtle but undeniable sign of hidden envy. When someone can't celebrate your success without making it about themselves. You achieve something big, share good news, or hit a milestone, and instead of congratulating you, they immediately shift the focus. They barely acknowledge your win before saying something like, "Oh, that reminds me of when I did something similar," or, "Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that too." Suddenly, your moment isn't about you anymore. It's about them. Here's the truth. Instead of celebrating you, they change the subject because your success threatens them. They don't want to acknowledge that you're progressing, so they redirect the conversation to their own achievements, past or future. It's their way of keeping up, of making sure you don't feel too special. Because if they can remind you and themselves that they're just as good or better, then they don't have to deal with the discomfort of feeling left behind. And this is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not waste time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, don't waste energy trying to convince someone to be happy for you. Just recognize their behavior for what it is and move forward. A person who can't genuinely celebrate you is exposing their own insecurity, not making a statement about your worth. Instead of getting frustrated, use their reaction as a filter. It shows you who's truly in your corner and who isn't. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Jake, got a well-earned promotion at work. Naturally, he was excited to share the news with his friend, expecting some words of encouragement. But instead of congratulating him, his friend responded with, "Oh, that's cool. You know, I've been thinking about asking for a raise myself. I probably should have gotten one already, but my boss doesn't appreciate me." Just like that, Jake's moment was hijacked. There was no celebration, no recognition, just an immediate shift back to the friend's own situation. That's when Jake realized this person wasn't happy for him because they were too busy thinking about themselves. So how do you handle people like this? First, don't chase their approval. If someone can't genuinely celebrate you, don't waste energy trying to get them to. Second, pay attention to patterns. Do they always redirect the focus when you succeed? That's not an accident. It's insecurity. And finally, surround yourself with people who truly support you. The right people will clap for you without needing to insert themselves into your moment. At the end of the day, a confident person doesn't feel threatened by someone else's success. They celebrate it. But those who secretly envy you, They'll always find a way to turn the spotlight back onto themselves. Don't let them steal your moment. Own your success, keep rising, and let their reaction reveal everything you need to know. If you've watched the video this far, don't forget to leave a comment with a thank God and give it a like if you enjoyed the content. Your support means a lot and motivates me to keep creating more interesting videos. I hope you find inspiration in them and that we continue learning together. Thank you for your support. Number 6. They spread doubt about you to others. Let's talk about one of the most toxic signs of hidden envy, when someone tries to plant seeds of doubt about you behind your back. Maybe they don't attack you directly, but they make subtle comments to others, just enough to create uncertainty. They might say things like, "Yeah, they got promoted, but I heard it was just luck," or, "I don't know, something about them seems off." It's never outright slander, just whispers, just enough to make people wonder. Here's the truth. They try to make others question your achievements or character, usually out of their own insecurity. They see you winning, and instead of working on themselves, they look for ways to bring you down in the eyes of others. Because if they can't rise above you, they'll try to lower you to their level. This isn't about facts, it's about control. By spreading doubt, they make sure that even if you succeed, people will second-guess whether you truly deserve it. And this is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Epictetus once said, "When someone is properly grounded in life, they do not waste time defending their honor." In other words, a person who knows their worth doesn't need to fight every false rumor or prove themselves to doubters. The truth always reveals itself. If someone is trying to undermine you, let your actions speak louder than their words. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Mia, worked hard to build her reputation in her industry. She was dedicated, skilled, and respected. But one day, she started noticing that people around her were acting differently, colder, more distant. Eventually, she found out why. A co-worker who had always seemed friendly had been subtly questioning Mia's abilities behind the scenes. They weren't outright attacking her, but they'd say things like, "I'm not sure Mia really deserved that promotion. I mean, she's good, but maybe management just likes her." Little by little, those doubts spread, and that's when Mia realized this person wasn't trying to expose a truth. They were trying to weaken her influence because they felt threatened by it. So, how do you handle people who spread doubt about you? First, don't react emotionally. Their goal is to get under your skin. Don't give them that power. Second, stay focused on your work. The best way to counteract their gossip is by continuing to prove your value through results. And finally, let time reveal the truth. People who spread doubt will eventually expose themselves as bitter and insecure, while those who truly know you will see through the lies. At the end of the day, secure people don't need to discredit others. They focus on their own path. But those who secretly envy you, they'll try to make others question you, hoping to slow you down. Ignore the noise, keep moving forward, and let your success drown out their whispers. Number 7. They distance themselves when you succeed. Let's talk about a sign of hidden envy that speaks volumes. When someone pulls away from you instead of celebrating your success. At first, you don't notice it. You achieve something important, expecting support, but instead of congratulating you, they become distant. They stop replying as quickly. They're suddenly too busy to hang out, or they act uninterested in your wins. It's not coincidence, it's discomfort. Here's the truth. Rather than celebrating with you, they pull away because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. Your success isn't the problem. it's what it represents to them. It forces them to reflect on where they are in life, and instead of feeling inspired, they feel insecure. Your progress makes them uncomfortable because deep down, they know they aren't growing in the same way. And instead of using that feeling to push themselves forward, they create distance. They'd rather remove themselves from your life than confront their own lack of effort. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Seneca once said, "Associate only with those who will make a better man of you." The right people in your life should challenge you to grow, not withdraw when you do. True friends aren't intimidated by your progress. They welcome it. They want to see you thrive, and your success doesn't make them feel smaller. But when someone pulls away after you level up, take it as a sign they were only comfortable with you before you started rising. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Maya, had a friend she had known for years. They were close, always there for each other. But when Maya started making major life changes, improving her career, getting healthier, and becoming more confident, this friend started acting differently. She became distant, making excuses to avoid conversations. Maya reached out multiple times, only to be met with short, uninterested responses. Eventually, Maya realized the truth. Her friend wasn't happy for her. She was uncomfortable with Maya's growth. Instead of celebrating, she retreated, because being around Maya was a constant reminder of what she wasn't doing. So how do you handle people like this? First, don't chase them. If someone pulls away when you succeed, let them. Second, recognize that their reaction is about them, not you. Your success didn't push them away, their insecurities did. And finally, surround yourself with people who celebrate your wins. The right ones will always want to see you rise, not withdraw when you do. At the end of the day, growth reveals who truly supports you. The people meant for you will grow with you, not fade into the background when you elevate. If someone disappears when you succeed, take it as proof that you were always meant to outgrow them. If you found this valuable, hit like and subscribe for more powerful insights.